Remember Mr. Modi becoming the third Prime Minister for the third consecutive time. He's repeating the feat of the country's first Prime Minister, Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru, who had also won 3 consecutive elections. But at that time, there was hardly an opposition in the country. The present scenario is completely different. There's a thriving opposition in the country in the form of the Congress party and many other regional parties which joined hands for the Congress in this particular election under the heading of the India Alliance to take on the BJP and the NDA. So if Mr. Modi is winning this big victory as it is seeming from the leads that are trickling in, he has not only defeated the Congress party, he has defeated largely the entire opposition, joint opposition in the country, which is a huge feat. Even after 10 years as the Prime Minister, many would have expected that there would be some anti-incumbency against the Prime Minister, but he has defeated all those theories, and we are seeing Mr. Narendra Modi walking towards the Prime Minister's chair for the third consecutive time with a bigger verdict. That is also something that is being talked about now in political circles, that 2014 was, people said there's an Andhi of Narendra Modi in the country. 2019 proved to be an even bigger victory for Mr. Narendra Modi in a third term, shows that the popularity of the Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, remains at an all-time high. It has not dipped. In fact, it is only growing. And the vision of the Prime Minister for the country is something that the people seem to be appreciating, acknowledging, and going to the polling booths and pressing the EVM button in the favor of the BJP. Now, what has worked for Mr. Modi in this election? If you go to a few factors which I saw during my coverage, ground coverage of these elections in various 5 to 6 states where I went to and spent almost a month speaking to people on the ground, I think number one which has worked is Welfarism. This Labharti model, which also was a solid ground for the Mr. Narendra Modi to come back to power in 2019, has only got strengthened. Wherever you go in the country, women are speaking about the free ration scheme, which was started under the COVID times, and now it has been extended till 2029. Jisne ration diya, usko vote denge is the common refrain I heard from multiple women voters, and in fact this is prevailing over any other SOP being offered by other parties. Like the Congress party had this huge freebie, this huge promise that if the Congress comes to power, they'll give the woman head of every household rupees 1 lakh per year. Surprisingly, this promise, the huge it may sound, but had little resonance on the ground. People were still speaking more about the ration scheme of the Modi government. Many women told me that ration तो मिल रहा है, 1 लाख मिलेगा कि नहीं मिलेगा कह नहीं सकते, विश्वास नहीं है कांग्रेस पे, पर मोदी जी ने कोविड के दौरान दिया है, अभी भी दे रहे हैं और 2029 तक देंगे. So I think the free ration scheme of the Modi government, which started as a humanitarian gesture during COVID but got extended now till 2029, is proving to be a trump card for the for the BJP in these elections, and bringing the woman power behind Mr. Narendra Modi and propelling him to, I think, the third term in office. And one must remember that women voters have voted in record numbers in this election. They have outnumbered the men voters in many constituencies, and that is the reason I feel that a big boost is coming to the Modi government. Second, I think the youth of the country also supporting Mr. Modi in a big way. This is the new first-time voter, second-time voter, which is seeing promise in Mr. Narendra Modi, maybe which is feeling proud that the country's prestige has risen over the globe. And though some youth that I spoke to during my travels did speak about unemployment, did speak about inflation, but they also trust Mr. Narendra Modi to solve this problem. They are not trusting the opposition, be it Rahul Gandhi or be it the other parties, to be able to address the issue of unemployment in the country, which is there, which is a concern even to this government because of our huge population, because the economy is rising, and there is hope that in his third term, this grouse that some youth have on unemployment will also be addressed by the Modi government. What is, I think, also worked, another big factor on the ground when you speak to people, there is no anti-incumbency against the Prime Minister as such. Yes, people were unhappy with certain BJP candidates, certain BJP MPs who they said, haven't worked on the ground. Some were changed also by the BJP, but nobody really had a bad word to say about the Prime Minister. Of course, the core Congress voter has his opinion on the Prime Minister, but I think the other BJP voters, even the fence-sitter voters, did not have anything bad to say about the Prime Minister. They trusted, and they said, we are voting in the name of Mr. Narendra Modi. We trust him to run the country. Our MP is not that important. The Prime Minister is the more important. We are voting in national interest. That I heard from various people. So that is a very interesting thing, I think, in Indian elections now coming up, that people saying they're voting for national interest to ensure a patriot, a strong leader, a decisive leader is at the helm of the country, because that keeps us safe. Some people even told me that, in the past 10 years, there's hardly been a major terror strike in any of the major metros of the country. And whenever a terror strike has happened in India, like in Kashmir, be it in Uri or be it in other parts of Kashmir when the big terrorist strikes have happened, India has replied in kind. India has gone inside Pakistani territory, POK, attacked, destroyed terror targets. Surgical strikes have been done as the famous slogan of the Modi government, "Ghar mein ghuske mara." So this is something that still registers with the people. Many people say in 2019 the Balakot strike propelled the BJP to power, but I think that sentiment still stays because people still feel that it is only the Modi government which can take such decisive steps, not the former UPA government of Manmohan Singh, which we all saw what happened after the Mumbai 26/11 terror attacks when the action was not taken against Pakistan. So I think the contrast is very, very clear amongst people. Also, a major factor, I think people felt that whatever Modi says, he delivers. So promises made, big promises like abrogation of Article 370, the construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, the bringing of the CAA Act, big moves of the Modi government, whatever was promised has been delivered. People see him as a decisive leader who promises something and also delivers it. So I think that is something that also has generated a lot of goodwill amongst the core BJP voter, that whatever our demands were for over the years, which the Congress never paid heed to, but Mr. Modi, since he's become the Prime Minister, has been able to deliver on those demands. हमारी अपनी सरकार है. This is the feeling also heard from many people on the ground. Welfarism, as I said, delivering on promises, strong and decisive leader, Hindutva model. I think the Hindutva image, the Sanatan image of the Prime Minister has had a huge resonance amongst the people, especially since the Ram Temple, Ayodhya Ram Temple got completed. Since then, I've seen that people on the ground, especially the Hindu community, the majority communities, feels empowered, feels emboldened. I feel empowered that a person is the Prime Minister who wears Sanatan on his sleeve. We saw the images of the Prime Minister, going to the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. He visited it once during the elections as well. He held a roadshow in Ayodhya. The Prime Minister going to Kanyakumari for meditation, and we saw all those visuals coming from there. The Prime Minister has been very, very, unabashed about it, I would say. And this strikes a chord with the electorate. Not just welfarism, not just strong decisions, national security, but also this concept that we need to be proud of our heritage, our religion. The country's majority population doesn't need to feel shy about it, which I thought was a feeling earlier that it was and the Prime Minister's charge on the opposition of minority appeasement of be it Muslim reservation card, which was played by the BJP in this election, effectively bringing out the past statements of Manmohan Singh or the past statements of Rahul Gandhi to put that tag of Muslim reservation, Muslim appeasement of the Congress in this election, I think has really, really worked, because the people on the ground spoke about it. They said that genuinely we feel that the Congress and the opposition is into Muslim appeasement. They may give Muslim reservation. It totally deflated the opposition's campaign of caste reservation, opposition's campaign that the constitution will be changed, opposition's campaign that reservation will be increased. All that I felt became non-issues after the Prime Minister went hammer and tongs on this Muslim reservation issue against the opposition, which seems to have beautifully worked for the BJP in these elections. A very, very smart, aggressive campaign on the ground as well as on digital, as well as on during the rallies. The Prime Minister did a record number of 180 plus rallies and roadshows. A superhuman effort put into these elections. Mr. Modi was virtually everywhere in these elections. He was the face, Modi ka guarantee. People connected with it, and that is what I think is explaining this huge verdict which seems to be coming in the favor of the BJP. Mr. Modi creating history. Not only is he repeating power, he's going from strength to strength. BJP entering new areas in the country, BJP entering new regions of the country, somewhere where nobody really gave BJP a chance a few years back, be it South India, be it Bengal, or be it Odisha. BJP is a party which seems on the ascendancy. BJP is growing in the country under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and this will be the biggest takeaway that the party will take from these elections, that the brand Modi remains popular, remains getting stronger, and has huge, huge credibility among the people.